Muri Zimbabwe makadi zvenyu pano apa chivhitivhiti apa tinenge tichikupai nyaya nemalatest updates anenge achiitika munyika yeZimbabwe. Tauya takabata nyaya imwe hombe yatiri kuona mastreets esocial media. Totangawo kunyuka tichataura nyaya idzi pano because tisu tinokupai nyaya idzi. So zviri kunzi Sean Mnangagwa slides in for elevation as a Baloyi is reassigned. Alright, Mnangagwa Sean seen as a potential rising star within the military command. Baloyi Chiwenga set for possible Brigadier promotion before a quiet exit from intelligence. Memo claims Zimbabwe Defense Forces power structure is quietly being reshuffled. So muri Zimbabwe ndiwo nyaya iripo, inini handina chandawedzera kana sauti yandaisa apa. Ndiri kutendai nekuteerera kwenyu pano pachivhitivhiti. Ndiyo nyaya ndauya kuti ndikuonesei pano kuti ndo zviripo. Tiri kutendai chose nekuteerera kwenyu kukuru kwamunoita pachivhitivhiti chenyu pano, chivhitivhiti chenyika. Ndo chivhitivhiti chenyika chinochi hamusi kunzwa here chikanzi state of affairs. Tisi tinotaura nyaya dzenyika, tinotaura nyaya dzenyika yese, hapana patinosirira kubata, tinobata nyaya dzese. Saka tinokutendai nekuteerera kwenyu kukuru kwamunoita pano pachivhitivhiti.
That the opposite could be true, that if I want to get the citizens to lose confidence in the case that was put forth, that I would then leak all this stuff to then get people to be like, oh no, we don't want this to happen. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, could the opposite be true of what's going on?
That's why I said I cannot have a definite answer to that. It's both ways. You know what we call strawman arguments, where you just throw something and say whatever it does, it can swerve in things. It doesn't hold water, but you are just putting an argument out there. So it's the same. These citizens now are finding themselves in limbo, in a quagmire, whereby we have to say what is.
Tatenda, Tatenda, I don't know. Okay, let me bring him back. Yeah, because I think what is quite important now, because when we are looking at this, guys, this is not just an argument. Over issue leaks, kana letters, kana denials, kana counter allegations, kana competing in the narrative. What really matters when everything has been said and done is the aspect of our constitutional democracy. What are we staring at here? What are we facing here? What does all this mean for you and me? Because at some point, we need to put aside the conversations around, these personalities, the people that we are talking about. Personalities come and go. Personalities fade. The accusations get bled as we move on. Time is a healer. Time makes people transition from one stage, to the other. But what remains is the impact that this is going to be having, especially on the integrity of that constitutional court. And we've already known, and we've already seen the integrity of this apex court being questioned with what happened in 2018. Somebody, was talking about that discussion of 16 polling stations having identical numbers. Numbers for Chamisa, numbers for Mnangagwa, numbers for Chamisa, numbers for Mnangagwa, numbers for Chamisa, numbers for Mnangagwa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Identical numbers. Different polling stations. Different provinces. That right there, when you analyze that and considering the integrity of that apex thing, You can begin to question the institutional integrity. You can begin to be questioning it. How are we imagining, these things as a nation? Where are we going? Because we need to move beyond just a conversation. The conversation about, the quarrels is all about putting everything into perspective, into context. But the conversation has to transcend. It has to go beyond these quarrels between these two legal practitioners or between the legal practitioner and Professor, Jonathan Moy. We are now beginning to see some of the pressures that are being put in place or that are being applied to shape whatever constitutional litigation that is going to be happening in this politically charged environment. Because when you begin to see lawyers at each other's throat publicly, or when you begin to see these audios being supported by leaked letters and narratives, changing from one point, to the other, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is telling you something else. We need to look beyond, these things. Do we have confidence, with the system? Do we have confidence that, that court right there is going to give a judgment that is not influenced by anything? How about other constitutional challenges that are going to be put before, this court? Because this is not, the only matter that is going to go before, this court. There are other matters that are going to go before, this court. If this case here can be manipulated to bring out a desired outcome, I'm not saying others are have been manipulated, but we are dealing with an organization that can easily be manipulated to produce an outcome that is desired, a desirable outcome.
But do you think that's why they've been physically attacking some of the more genuine cases, the ones that are submitting some of the more genuine cases? Like, it then brings up that question in terms of their strategy. Have they physically attacked this one? I think as you're saying, it really brings a lot of confusion as to where the citizen, where should you be standing, what should you be relying on. Yeah, I find it to be
Mm.
a very
No,
interesting time.
you are right on the money. You are right on the money, right there. This is why it is always important now for us as citizens to know Kutizo, or for us as citizens to identify other ways that can be used to mount a challenge. I'll go back to what Professor Maduku said. Kutizo Kukoto is another arena, but there's an arena that is important. The public, the public arena is important. Like what others, like what Marcino was saying, refuse this thing from the get-go. Don't give them your consent. Refuse it from the get-go. Tochiramba Chiniji from the get-go. Because week in, week out, we are seeing developments that are speaking to the true nature of the establishment that we are dealing with. That is ZANU-PF. We are seeing people being stopped from doing what they are supposed to be doing. We are seeing kidnappings. We are seeing beatings. We are seeing business premises being disturbed on the guise of maintaining law and order. And we are seeing constitutional lawyers themselves being attacked. And all these organizations and all these people, they are calling for a litigation on one hand as one of the key instruments that can be used to fight back. But there's also the other, on the other side, the one that compels us as citizens to drive, this conversation. to participate in whatever it is that needs to be done. These CDFs, the CDF was launched, yesterday. These organizations that have been launched, be part and parcel of those organizations. You're not joining a political party, but you are joining a platform, a vehicle that has got an agenda of wanting to stop, this thing. Any other organization that springs out there, that comes out there, as long as it has got its objectives clear, as long as you are clear on what is intended, you got to be there. You got to join. That is what this means for citizens. And these civic conversations, they need to continue. We need to continue with these civic conversations. We cannot all agree on some of the basic facts. We cannot all agree on everything. But we cannot be put